Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another video from Enterkin Media. Today we're at Colsterworth truck stop, just off of A1 near Grantham. A lot of you are probably familiar with it, but a very popular truck stop. As we all know, good ones are few and far between now. But here we are on a Friday afternoon. As always, not quite sure what we're going to see. We're planning on doing a live stream later, which will be online obviously, and we hope you check in, watch that and subscribe. But in the meantime, let's try and shoot some video footage and see what interesting trucks we can catch. There's a bit of a queue at the moment for the fuel pumps. The skip truck here is making it a little bit awkward for some of the trucks exiting. There we are, a man's managed to get out. But being a Friday, you're never very sure what you're going to catch, so on the benches. Never quite sure what they carry in these containers. I see they have underslung pumps there with donkey engines on them. I see a lot of them about all over Europe, and certainly in Switzerland I've seen quite a few. Walker Movements here from Truckspotting. It's a big old lump of truck. There's a pilot van came in behind it, but I don't think he's associated with him. I thought he may be off to a job. But in the past, many years ago, I had a visit at Walker's Yard at Truckspotting, and they were absolutely fantastic. They couldn't be any more helpful, very welcoming, and it was interesting to see around the yard, see their operation. They've got a lot of cranes, a lot of specialist gear, and I'm not sure if that's something they still do, but certainly on that particular day we had a fantastic visit. Really, really enjoyable. Well, it's getting really quite busy here. There's a couple of trucks are going to have to exit before the advanced Renault can get in. We've still got a queue in the fuel pumps, and it shows how popular the place is. It's great. It's great. We need a lot more places like this. I've never understood why we have so few facilities in the UK. I've heard various different rumours about, they need the ground for developing on for housing and all sorts of different schemes, but the transport industry needs infrastructure like this. We need rest areas, we need drivers that are properly rested and catered for. The clue's in the name really, isn't it? Rest area and truck stop, whatever. You don't want trucks up and down the road tired. Brikes, tyre disposal and haulage. A little, I don't know if any are foreign viewers might be interested in that. A lot of the truck manufacturers, they drop that little middle axle and little baby wheel there to make it a 6x2. There you can see another example there. It's stuck behind the tipper now, of course. But yeah, they put the little baby lifting axle in there, which obviously gives the truck the 6x2 configuration. So in the UK it can run at 44 tons. But being that smaller axle, you save a little bit of weight from a conventional axle as well. So it's a sort of win-win. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I must admit I'm a fan of the 4x2 configuration myself. But as a haulier, I guess the extra payload is what it's all about. Extra payload, extra earnings. Dennis distribution. There's Fairmac here, Da fan, the Volvo leaving there. That's a big wave for the guys. Hopefully they've all been well fed and watered. Off on their way. Hopefully with any luck back to the yard, wash down and park up for the weekend. McGuinness haulage. The old pedestrian alarm going there, warning them to stand clear. Never quite understood that really. If you can't see, I mean, obviously if you have a disability, obviously it makes sense, but you know, I think that's a bit of corporate legislation come in really to pamper for pedestrians and cyclists and whatever. That somehow think it's a good idea to come up the inside of trucks, and you know, I'm sure if you're a truck driver, you probably have all the same horror stories as me. You know, pulled up at the lights in London and you turn around, you got to check your mirrors and you've got a pedestrian hanging on your mirror arm. Just, you know. Speaks for itself really, that, doesn't it? Anyway, London and trucks, what a wonderful combination. We'll leave that there. So just while we're looking, you can see the fuel pumps there. Not terribly interesting itself, but for anyone that doesn't know that would ever be passing by, obviously you've got Key Fuels and UK Fuels. AdBlue, there's a truck wash there that we just can't quite see. Maybe when this truck just on the left pulls out the way you might see it. You got shop in there, you got secure parking here on Snap. Pretty much everything you want, certainly It's about as good as it gets here in the UK. Got some guys there already parked up. As always, got a car just an Abbey group, big daft there with the space cab as opposed to the super space. Trusswell haulage, Yorkshire, I believe. I could be wrong, they possibly do other work, but the majority of the trucks I see from Trusswell, it's flatbed work. Certainly the kind of work you'd maybe want to be doing in the warmer months, or the drier months, certainly. The new DAF, Turner's a Soam, with the again the pedestrian driver's side window in the door. Not quite sure how the window drops in one of those. If any viewers drive one of those trucks with the window in the passenger door, maybe you could drop a message. Do they slide horizontally or do they drop vertically as normal? Do you get much benefit and visibility with it? Does it do what it says on the tin? There we are. I want to... Oops. The zoom seems a little bit harsh today. Probably cold fingers. But there we are. Premier Transport with a 20-foot container on the back. Off he goes, another satisfied customer, I'd guess. Another Brykes. I don't know if it's the same one. Fez has been loaded quick. Again, the little baby wheel there, as you can see, for the payload. And he goes to get parked up. And very shortly, probably be sitting with a bacon roll and a cup of coffee in his hand. I think following their television series, there's quite a following for Metcalf's heavy haulage. They do quite a lot of interesting loads. Some heavy old plant. 6x4 double drive in it there. It goes with a low loader. They do a lot of specialist transport. Anyone that's seen them going up and down the motorway will be familiar with what they do. I'm not going to go into too much details, but yeah, Trow Nutrition, just backing her in. It's still got the conventional mirrors on that one. You can see the reg of it. But of course, as far as I'm aware, Mercedes were the first to go with the camera mirrors. John Petch Volvo coming in. It's I believe the term is winter spec. Obviously there's a lot of salt about in the roads all over the UK at the minute with the frost. It's virtually impossible to keep anything clean, certainly if you're away for the week. Cheesy from Italy. Big fleet. You see a lot of them around northern Italy. Fairly sure I maybe passed one of their depots heading over towards Trieste and northern Italy when I went to Croatia. Could be mistaken, but yeah, you certainly see them all over Europe, but certainly northern Italy I remember seeing more than a couple. Dean Transport, MAN. Let's just pan round. I was going to say pan round and catch Holt's, but got one Strickland Transport Scania's coming. We're going to catch the Holt briefly, but that's a livery I like. Green and red. Possibly shouldn't work, but it does. Very eye-catching and all private regs on them as well. Nice fleet. Another familiar sight to a lot of enthusiasts will be McGrew. It's the unfamiliar, although becoming more familiar, white cabs. See a lot of them guys up at Heysham when I dropped trailers for the Heysham ferry years ago. Stock building blocks, high ab rigid with a drag on the back. So as you can see, it's a pretty busy truck stop. This very successful as far as I would. Well, successful from a driver's perspective. As I say, it gives everything you want, and as you can see, the drivers vote with their wheels. You know, most people drive you know, where they know what they're gonna get. You know, if you don't have a lot of time, you're gonna use your time valuably, and you're going to go where you know you get a good feed, good facilities. And where most people vote with their feet, drivers vote with their wheels, and you can see that it's pretty busy here. Sutton's Group, Used to be Sutton's of St Helens, wasn't it? Used to have the Union Jack on the front grille. Not sure when that all ended. Maybe some of you will be able to drop me a message, but I certainly remember the old ERFs with the Union Jack or the Union flag or whatever you would term it as on the front grille. Green Carrier's been in, had a look, whether he's not got the right fuel cards or changed his mind, or who knows, but he's done what in aviation would be called a touch and go, I guess. Still a bit chilly here, but the light's okay. It's still the end of January, so we're ever hopeful that things are going to warm up, get longer days, get some more content for you guys. And obviously, being January as well, as always, there's a bit of downturn in the haulage industry, like everything else. So there's probably a few less trucks going about. So things will certainly pick up as we get the better weather. Guys will start seeing the polished alloys, polished tanks, the show trucks starting to appear out, and it'll be a different scene altogether. Of course, being on Snap, it does put it on the Snap network, and at night times it does get busy in here, very busy, like the rest of the UK, to be honest, as a whole. I'm not going to make any bold claims. There are a lot of security issues throughout the UK. I see posts almost on a daily basis about trucks and laybys being robbed and things. I'm not going to be controversial or judgmental, but I would need an awful lot of persuading to park in a lay-by nowadays. There is provision in the drivers' hour rules to get to safe parking. You can exceed your driving hours to get to safe parking. Of course, the problem is if everywhere's full, all you do is just drive round getting a load of, or getting an infringement, and still end up parking somewhere silly. So that's the battle you have. A good traffic planner, a good operator will plan your job so that you can get parked up either at a customer's premises or get parked up somewhere suitable, or they'll even book you a spot on Snap. But it's not easy, and like good truck drivers, good traffic planners are in short supply. To be fair to some of the planners, the wages are not great. It's not. It's probably not a career move now. And like everything else, you pay your money and you get what you get. But a good traffic planner, worth his weight in salt. Manners from Northumberland. Oh. Nice fleet, nice truck. Nice wave. And yeah, an interesting load on the back. Some tyres on the back of those trailers, isn't there? You wouldn't want to be changing them yourself. It's something I've always sort of fancied doing, low loader work, plant work, you know, not so much plant, but agricultural loads, you know, moving tractors and combines and what have you. But I've been in the game long enough to know that everything's not as easy as it looks, and you know, as interesting and as much fun as it looks through the camera lens or through the windscreen, it's probably nothing like that in reality. So fair play to the guys that do it, and I guess it's one of them things that I'll probably never get round to now. Never driven one of them, but I do like the look of the vehicle. I know, again, it's not everyone's cup of tea. You'd never get drivers to agree on one truck. As I've always said, if you take all the best features out of all the trucks and put them all together in the same chassis, you've probably got the perfect truck. But until that point happens, there's always going to be opinions, and I would say if you had 2 truck drivers, you'd probably have 3 opinions. So. It's another fleet. In the past, I've been down, I had a yard visit with, down near Highbridge, I think it was. Down in Somerset, in the southwest somewhere. There wouldn't be an Intikin media video with a George Kimes in it. I think that seems to be the common theme. Spot the Kime. He's going to be reversing into one of those spaces down there, but sadly our French friend didn't quite get that. That is, it's a French company, but Romanian red truck. So Mr. Kime is just going to back in there and transport Saint Arnaud, I think, is just going to go past. Things heating up here again. Getting a bit busy again. I don't know whether this is particularly because it's Friday and everyone's fueling up before they go back to the yards, or whether it's the norm. Getting a bit busy. Nice smile and wave from the Gold Star pilot. I think he's got the same thoughts as me. It's getting quite busy and he's going to make his escape while the going's good. Have a look at the tipper as well. Not quite sure where he's going. I think it's one of them situations where everyone's stopped to give way to everybody, really. I think the tipper driver might have came round the circuit. Not quite sure. It's one of my fellow countrymen. Grantham. Certainly get about. There's a list of some of the countries where you're liable to see them, although there are many, many more. I've seen them out and about pretty much all over Europe and beyond. I'm fairly sure I saw them not too long ago over Malta or Cyprus, something like that. There was a consignment of goods. I'm sure it was one of those. I certainly saw a British haulier. I think it was Malta. I stand to be corrected. Again, if you know, let me know, drop a message. J. Morton, High Peak. Tanker full of AdBlue, presumably. Off we go. Another Scottish visitor. Wouldn't see too many of them. Probably on the fish, I would say. Possibly not. Good to see him anyway. trying a nutrition. Presumably are involved in the transportation of some feed for the chicken farms, which is quite a lot around Lincolnshire. I wasn't aware that there were so many, but you start see one and then you start to see many more, and before you know it you realise that it's quite a big industry, locally anyway. Again, it's went through a tough time like so many others. Here's a good example of an all-wheel steer on the back of the low loader there. It's amazing. Looks like a 4x2, but hidden in there you can see a little additional axle. So it's all very common, regular stuff to anyone here in the UK, but to our viewers, subscribers from abroad, may not be something you see. I don't know how common anything like that would be in the States. I've been over to the States a couple of times. Never photographed any trucks over there, sadly, so far. Have in Australia, Melbourne, visited a BP garage outside Melbourne for a couple hours, and didn't really know what to expect, but it was all American gear, Kenworths, Freightliners, GMCs. There was some big tackle, I have to say that maybe it was just the day, maybe it was the location, I'm not sure, but it wasn't the friendliest of receptions that particular day. Most of the guys, girls got it, were all happy, saw that it was all positive, but more than average took exception. So of course we don't, you can get that here in the UK or anywhere of course, but it's just a shame I didn't get the chance to go anywhere else and just find out. I'm sure it was just a one-off. I don't think it was anything. So here we are, ex-Jack Richards Miller? Who knows? Container subby now anyway. The Linden plants, little 7.5 tonners coming in. Who's this coming? John Barber. David Barber, is it? Yeah, David Barber. Apologies. It's a Renault anyway, whatever we're looking at. And it's a corker. Very nice. Again, full winter spec, but no doubt she's earned someone her cape this week. There you are. The A-field ridget there, you can maybe see the water streaming off the back of it. He's just come out the truck wash, which obviously is fully operational, and I guess before we maybe had the before shot, and there's the after shot. Very, very clean, and a good job done by all. So yeah, obviously if you're passing by and in the need for giving your truck a splash of soap and water and a spruce up, you could do far worse than visiting here. GMS of Doncaster and AB Texel. So there's Welsh's Transport at Cambridge. That's the smaller cab Renault from the high cab Abardas that we saw earlier. This is the I believe it's called the T range, and the other one's called the T high. But either way, it's still a Renault. Again, it's quite busy here. Still a bit of movements going on. Lad with AB Texel DAF shoving her back in a space. Nice, no doubt gonna be going and getting a bite to eat. So I think what we're going to do, folks, is I'll go and shoot some videos or some stills of the actual restaurant and the cafe to finish the video off. But for the moment, that's the end of the video. I'm going to shoot a live stream now. It'll be our second live stream. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully we can get a connection, and we'll be on very, very soon. Okay folks, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to see more from other locations, other days, hit that subscribe button for us. And to all the subscribers already, hit the button. We appreciate it. Thank you, and we look forward to bringing you more videos soon.